Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Hayden and this is my video presentation for Education 504 at Liberty University. My educational thinker is Emma Willard. Emma was a pioneer for women's education. She was the 16th of 17 children, and she grew up in an era where women were educated and groomed to become housewives and mothers. And that was the extent of what was expected of them. And their education was very much tailored to that. They were not given the same opportunities as men. And Emma, at a very young age, developed a passion for learning and for teaching. One of the big influencers in her life was her father. He was a farmer. He worked very hard, and he also made sure that all of his children read and learned. And he pushed for them to go beyond the limits and to learn what they wanted to learn and seek the information that they weren't given in a school setting. And so Emma, she thrived on that, and he gave her the opportunity to kind of pursue her dreams, to learn beyond what was expected of her. And at a very early age, at 15 years old, Emma was enrolled in her first school. And by the age of 17, she was given a teaching position. And she was 100% set on helping women further their education. Women weren't given the opportunities to learn things like geography, science, math, philosophy in depth like men were. And so Emma opened a school, and her first school was ran out of her home. And later on, she did go on to open a school outside of her home. That school today still exists. It's called the Emma Willard School. It's in New York. And they still base their mission and their goals off of Emma's philosophy in learning and for empowering women and educating women. When Emma was young, she married a man that was much older than her, and his nephew lived with them. And his nephew attended Middlebury College. And so Emma was able to have access to his textbooks. And she then realized tremendously how far back women were from men in terms of education. And she read his textbooks, and she learned the material, and she mastered subjects that she would have never learned in a regular school setting. And she took that information and she guided young women as students and as teachers. And she was big on teaching her students how to think and getting them to think of why. Why are you thinking this way? Why is this subject important? Why are you learning this? Not just what to think. A lot of information back then, especially to women, was this is how you should think. This is what you should think. And Emma went beyond that. She felt that subject matter when teaching should be tailored to age and individual ability. And so maturity wise, Emma kind of was a pioneer for women for teaching them how to teach certain populations of students, certain age groups of students. She had a goal of developing reason on why you think the way you think, not just memorization, not just because somebody else told you to. She wanted her students to develop reason. She thought that a student could reach the greatest amount of happiness in learning what they enjoyed and what they communicate, how they communicated, what they wanted to learn and why that would benefit them. And it gave women the opportunity to go beyond motherhood and being a housewife, which a lot of women were very content, and a lot of women still are very content with being a housewife and mother. It's a fantastic job. It's a great thing. I did it myself for a while. I would never go back and take that away, but I had the opportunity to further my education, and it was never an issue. It was always an opportunity to me, and it wasn't back in Emma's day. And so she was a pioneer for women. She was very adamant that women should be able to get the comparable education to men because they were responsible for educating their own children. They were the ones that were going to spend the most time with them, especially if they were, home with them all day, and that was their job, was at home. And she really opened the doors for a lot of women. She opened the doors for a lot of women teachers, and today her values, her beliefs, and her philosophy are still being used, and they're still upheld at her school and by women teachers all over. And so Emma really opened the doors for women and women educators and women students. And I feel like she always will have a face in education. And I hope more people get the opportunity to learn about her. And I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about Emma. There's a lot more to be said, but I hope you enjoyed what I had to say and learning about her and furthering education for women. Have a good day.